All right, it's the Power 95.3 Get Up Crew, DJ Nails, Lil Sean, SD in the Stanley Steamer Performance Studio, and we got some guests hanging out in the club, in the crib with us right now.
Royalty.
I was saying in the club because Cease was just asking about his drink, so I just got in club mode.
Know what I mean?
Nino from Junior Mafia, Cease from Junior Mafia, and
doubt.
the Faith Evans is here right now.
Okay.
That's Nino,
Look.
not to be confused with Alimo from Junior Mafia.
Alamo.
Okay.
Nintendo with Caesar Alamo.
Faith, welcome back to your home state.
Thank you. Thank you.
For those who don't know, Faith is a Polk County girl.
Is that Lakeland is Polk?
Yeah, Polk.
Okay, my bad. Because, no, my family, shout out to my cousin. He's up in here. But my family is from, mainly from Dade City, which is Pasco County.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
But I was actually born in Lakeland
Okay,
General
that's
Hospital.
dope.
So.
You know who bragged about that? We had 7th Streeter in the studio, and she was bragging. You know, Faith Evans, she from Polk County.
Is she from Florida,
Yeah.
too?
Yeah, she from
I
Haines
never knew
City.
that.
She's from Haines City. Yep.
Did not know that.
We're not all full of crazies.
I thought she was an LA girl because I live in LA.
She live over there.
and
Yeah,
she live,
she
but I
lives
just
over there.
thought she was from LA for some reason.
Oh wow.
So let's talk about this album. I know there's been, of course, a lot of talk about it, and even with you, just you've had this in your mind for a while. Now it's resurfaced. The King and I, talk to us about this album that's about to drop. That's just super highly anticipated.
Well, I was actually inspired. I thought, okay, it would be dope if I could do something like that one day when I heard Natalie Cole's Unforgettable.
That's crazy. That's
And as long ago as that was, that was just like, oh, I told Miss Wallace, like, oh, that'd be really dope if I could do that one day. And she's like, you should. But, I never moved on it. It was just a thought. And my attorney actually reminded me, like, a few years ago, like, hey, you should try and go do that business. Let's go, take a meeting and see if they're interested. And the people who acquired the masters from Bad Boy were very interested. And, they thought I had a really great vision. And they gave me the funding and the room to do what I want to do creatively,
light, do your
so
thing.
yeah. I'm really excited.
That also includes some unreleased tracks, if you will, some freestyles from Biggie, right? Who had the Premiere? Is it Premiere the one that had it? Or
Well, actually, Premier had a couple in his archives. Salam Remy, who I also work with, he had a few, and Just Blaze had a couple. And the people who I did the deal with, they actually are an umbrella company under the Warner Atlantic house, which also housed Lil Kim and Junior Mafia, so they have their masters. So I got to use like some of Big's reference vocals that he did for Junior Mafia records and Lil Kim records too.
See, and that's amazing too. All the people that you work with, all the people that are appearing on this album. I mean, so let's talk about that too. That you guys are able to team up with such a, a legend. We all know what Biggie brought to hip hop. We all get it. 20 years later, he's still as relevant. He's still the king, and he's still one of the best.
Yeah, that's undeniable. And I mean, obviously it's a big deal to be able to just go in and do what you want to do creatively with some Biggie, masters. Yeah. So I certainly, wanted to be very careful in, maintaining the integrity of what he already had there, but at the same time still being creative and being creative, but also keeping a certain sense of humor, and then at the same time making sure it made sense and putting it into a story. So I really took my time to try and, create, it's really kind of like a musical movie. That's kind of how I see it, when you hear the album from beginning to end, it really is a story.
What do you say? I mean, let me ask you guys, all three of y'all, you know what I'm saying? Because you guys are hip-hop royalty. A lot of people don't, you know what I'm saying, don't, especially new cats that are coming into the game right now. And we, what do you say to these new guys like
I ain't saying no names, bro.
The cat with you look like a Muppet to me. But anyways, what do you say to these new cats that are coming out and disrespecting? You know what I'm saying? I take it as disrespect to Biggie, when they say stuff like, oh, Biggie wasn't that big, he ain't that good type stuff. What do you guys say to
I'll
that?
go first.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Faith.
Well, no. Here's
Faith, hold on.
Take
Go
that
first.
one.
And this is not
there you
even,
go.
this is not pointed toward anyone personally. This is just how I feel about music in general. It's up to us to teach our kids what good music is. And for example, I have 4 children, and I guess they're all considered millennials and of this generation, but they grew up knowing what good music is. So while they do listen to some current artists, probably they listen to most of them, but of course some of them they choose to listen to more than others, but they still also listen to classic music that they grew up listening to. And if it's something I don't understand, or I'm like, okay, well, what is that you're listening to? Okay, tell me what's dope about that. Right. They can tell me what they like about it. It's not just, because I hear it all the time, or no, he just hard. You know, it's just like, oh, well, his rhymes is whack. He got catchy hooks, and he do all his beats. So that's kind of why I listen. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. But it's up to us, to teach our children. Me being a creative person, I try not to really make judgment on other people's creative expression, because it's up to you what you want to like. You know what I'm saying? So, like Caesar's, been saying that a lot lately, which is kind of something I say all the time. Like, if somebody finds an audience and somebody's liking what you do, then, good for you.
There's a lot of people in this world.
Get that bag.
It's just the wave of music, man. Whatever, the generation that's at peak today, that's just what they're listening to. That's what they're rocking to. We can't knock them. We was kids once, so, nobody felt the way about me when I was making my kind of music, the era that was before my time. So, we got to accept it and welcome it with open arms. But like Faith said, we got a choice. We got to educate the people and let them know what was before our time, you know what I mean? And, that's what we've been doing, you know what I mean? That's our vibe and that's our situation. But
as fans, though, we just feel a little lack of respect from their side. You know what I'm saying?
He takes it personally.
I do. You know what I mean? It's like you respect your elders, respect the people who, who kind of opened this door for you.
Obviously, he didn't know no better. You can't, I can't.
Right.
you can't fault that, man. That kid 20 years old.
Just like,
right now, this is a therapy
session.
session.
I don't even remember who it was, but the song Play Nintendo with Caesar Nino. That's who they were. That's who the song was about. A lot of people don't know Nino Brown particularly because he wasn't like the front face, in Junior Mafia, but that's who Big was talking about on the rhyme. And so when the guy said Alamo on the Hip Hop Honors, that's what the whole thing was about. Like, clearly he doesn't know Junior Mafia. There's no Alamo. But, it's obviously that, I didn't take that as like, oh, he's disrespectful. But for someone to actually say that, that's just a lot. He just didn't know any better. He ain't know no better.
We got Nino.
But you got to be careful about what you say. You got to be careful about what you say, too, as someone that's in the public,
social media, it's changed the game.
Sometimes
people can twist. They'll twist words real quick.
Up and may not. Now you say one thing, they got you on Snapchat.
Look, let me tell you something. I'm so glad that none of that existed back when I was doing my dirt and popping up at people's houses and back, like it's just legend. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's why.
So
that's why our era was so cool. You know what I mean?
Matter of fact,
we escaped that. You know what I'm saying?
let's take a couple. Let's take a couple. Let's take a couple steps back. Like a couple months ago, we saw that the Barclays Center and the Brooklyn Nets raised a banner with Notorious B.I.G. stuff, and I saw y'all were there. That had to be a good feeling for you. I mean, we were just talking off the air about how Brooklyn has changed as a borough. How does that feel to just be in that vicinity and then get that honor and just be able to witness that? I mean, you were part of that history too.
Yeah. I saw it on TV. It was great.
He was on a European tour that week.
I was in Italy at the time, but I was mad I missed that though. But I mean, that was a great look though for just being part of B.I. legacy. Just to show B.I. that kind of love 20 years later, man. Just to see that, watching that from all the way overseas, it was just something dope to see. He worked hard for that, you know what I'm saying? And we worked hard on keeping his legacy alive, so to see it get rewarded was really dope. You know what I mean? Like, B.I. deserved that.
I want to go back just to obviously a few months, but we were in Tampa, Nails in Miami, but we saw the Bad Boy reunion tour, and it was amazing to see everybody come back. How was that? Some of those relationships. I know that I think you and Lil Kim, you guys talked then, right, about the track on the album, The King and I. So how was that? Let's talk about that situation. That's one of the the collabs that everyone's super excited to get.
Well, the Bad Boy tour was a lot of fun. I'm probably one of the artists, if not the only, back in the 94 to 96 era of Bad Boy that didn't partake in like the big tours that they did at the time. Because it just made more sense back then for me to do my little shows on the weekends because they made more money.
Hello.
So
Hello.
And it was less drama. So this was my first time doing that in that sense. But me and a lot of the artists have been being booked together over the last few years, me total. But at the same time, I still, we all still keep in touch either way, whether, for the most part, I kind of have a number on all of them, you know what I mean, and have over the years kept in touch. But it was just a great feeling to see, even standing backstage watching the other artists on stage and like feeling proud, like seeing their fans scream for them, and like every city, everybody was just so lit. Like I was like, damn, they really, we obviously really meant something to to these people, you know,
Yeah.
still do. Obviously, if
You
they
all
paid,
shaped. You
I don't know
shaped
how
the
much money to
generation.
come.
But think
Like
how
straight
big
up,
you
you
guys
shaped
were.
the generation.
Think how big you were without
that was a
social
great
media.
feeling,
you know,
'cause it's
without
not
all
like,
this
you
other
know.
aids, you know what I'm saying, that people have nowadays. People get known before they even see them nowadays.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Let me ask you this real quick. Individually, what do you guys miss the most about Big?
I can't just say one thing. I just miss Big, you know.
I kind of feel the same way. Just miss being around them, kicking it, chilling.
Any particulars?
Nah, same thing. Personality, everything.
The microphone works if you pick it up.
Nino's so damn cool. You see him just sitting there.
Nah. He just high.
Nino's like, I thought I was holding the mic. What happened?
No, we're not used to this kind of weather. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
They
this
think
is
they
not,
on
you know.
vacation.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
work.
This is our life every day. We have this weather in the good old Sunshine State. So, but let's get back to that though. I do want to talk about that Little Kim because it's.
Oh,
it's,
I'm sorry.
You know,
I
but sorry,
never
yeah,
answered.
she's like whatever.
No. The Kim situation.
Yeah.
The thing is, I actually reached out, and I don't know if it was to the right person at the time, but some years ago to try and do a song with Kim on, one of my independent albums, when I was living in Atlanta, and it just didn't happen. But like I said earlier, I never knew, I'm really gonna do this album and when
Yeah.
it would happen, and definitely never knew that this would be the project we ended up doing a song together for. So, obviously that was all just kind of part of God's plan. When we were rehearsing for the first shows we did at the Barclays back in May of last year, that's when I first approached her and told her about the project and, told her I wanted her to be on it, and she said, yeah, immediately. But I didn't have the song yet, and I think by the time we were halfway through the tour, I had the record that I felt was right for her. And, I was just told her, I was like, I really want you to be honest about how you felt about him and how his, death affected you, And I also told her to make sure she did a
Let me ask you this: Is there? Are you guys? I mean, is there anything going to happen? Talk to us about a Biggie hologram. Is there anything going to happen with that?
Okay, well, we are in talks with a company that is developing a hologram. When it comes to stuff like that, or a lot of things with Big's estate, I am partners with his mom, and I tend to kind of defer to whatever she wants to do. To be quite
Wow,
honest.
that's good.
For a few years, like a few years ago, people had approached us about doing it, and she was like, no. So I don't know, something must have, maybe somebody else approached and it made more sense, and she said, okay. I don't know that it's quite at the point of being able to be used or how much it can be used. It was certainly my goal to try and, in some kind of way, be able to use it with this project in conjunction with, whether it be in a video. But to be quite honest, I don't know. It's just kind of funny with stuff like that. And there's a few different factors. Just my personal feeling on it is you got to be really careful with, not feeling like it's cheesy when you use it, or overusing it. So, and I've never done anything like this, so I can't quite say, oh yeah, I know it's gonna be this, that, or the third. But whatever she feels is right. She did tell me I could use it for the project, but it's not quite at the point of being ready to use in the way that
That's
they
great that you
want
guys
to,
get along, that there was
unveil
no-
it.
And
no drama or
make sure y'all look at the hologram
Well,
too
why
before
would there
y'all see
ever
it.
be any drama?
No, but you hear about those. People get so ugly with the estates and so-and-so's fighting over those. We've never heard about that, and that's just, it's amazing to hear that, because it just gets so ugly out there. When it comes to money, everyone, all of a sudden their ugly comes out.
Let me
And
just say this. Thank God Big married me. No, there
He
was a
chose
reason he
right.
put me in his life. It's not like we knew we were going to lose him at all, and that wasn't what I expected, But at the same time, things could have went very differently. I know exactly what you mean, but
Yeah.
that's just not
you
the
just said,
person
"I
I
defer to
am.
her," and that's amazing that
Yeah,
you
I
do
made
that.
her a part of my inheritance. I didn't feel like he would ever leave this earth without making sure his mother was straight. So for me, that was just the right thing to do. So I've never taken that like, oh, this is gonna, I never looked at inheriting a part of his estate as now I'm gonna not do anything and still pursue my goal. Like I still have a career as far as I'm concerned. That's something that, by way of a very huge tragedy,
Yeah, terrible.
became a part of my life. So I guess it's kind of, I've never received it in the sense of some like big pay off, or you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. You know,
Like a
I don't
family.
look
You
at
guys
it like
still
that.
Together 20
Yeah.
plus years
That's
later,
right,
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
right.
And it feels like it, you know what I'm saying? So congratulations, one, on your longevity, two, on entertaining us for so many years, having so many fans internationally.
Appreciate that.
And
Appreciate
three,
that.
for coming back and, you know, continuing to do it again. So that's awesome, man.
I mean, shoot, I gotta. What else am I going to do?
It's the bread
So
and butter.
I got it.
the project comes out May 19th, correct?
May 19th, but it is available for pre-order now.
Uh-huh.
And it's there. We got 3 singles that you get when you pre-order the album. So
Now,
got
we
a couple of videos about to drop soon.
and we were talking about how you said Premier had a couple of records. Basically, there's some unreleased records that are on that. Cease, you got some stuff that we haven't heard from Big, like hidden away on some tapes or something.
Nah.
Yeah,
nah,
see?
I wish
Gotta be
I,
on tapes, ain't no.
I wish I did. If I did, would have had some. Fizzy already
She
would
would have
have.
given them to me for this project.
She would
for
have had
sure.
those for the project.
You see
He
how she
actually
sat up?
pointed
She's
me
like,
in the direction of a few people that said they
that I
did,
knew that
but-
had records, you know what I mean, that he did songs with, you know what I mean.
How is that to hear? Like, I know we hear his songs on the radio and you get those classics, or we hear them in the club, but how is that to hear these unreleased? Do you get chills? Like, I just feel like that must be such a magical moment.
I get them.
Right?
I get them when I hear the older ones.
You
now.
connect. Yeah, like there must be something that you feel like it's so personal with him. Like, nobody else has heard this. This is something that we did in the studio, or he did with so-and-so. And I just can't imagine. I just feel like you would really feel that.
See, he probably has more of those memories because I didn't, I was always doing my own thing. So, like, even when I first met Big, like, he didn't have a car for a long time. So I would drop him off, or just wait in the car for him and take him to so many little studios all over the place and wait for him to come back. He
Oh, she was
probably
the
went in
role
there.
like she was one of the homeboys.
He probably dropped a verse. I was a homeboy.
They was the-
I love
they
that.
was
That's,
the
that's
homie,
love,
yeah.
though. That's love. He's saying that because he loves you.
I'm
That's-
just, I was.
Yeah.
I just wait in the car with them, smoke till he finished.
That's just like those old school 90s
this is why we
movies
20
right there.
years
That
strong now, though, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like forever. This is forever change. This don't change right here. This is what
That's
it's
love.
been, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
love.
How was Biggie like for those up and coming artists right now that are like, all right, man, all I got to do is put one song out on YouTube or Instagram or whatnot, then I'll get famous. Tell them about the time that was spent, like you said, in studios. You know what I'm saying, going from studio to studio, doing banger to banger. I have a friend of mine who's a producer here in town, worked with Biggie way back. He told me a story that he was in the studio with Big playing beat after beat after beat after beat. And after like 3 hours, he told Big, "Oh man, whenever you're ready, bro, just let me know." He's like, "I've been ready. I'm waiting for you."
Yeah.
And he went in there and ripped it in one take. He said he's never had an artist do that before.
Yeah, oh yeah, B.I. was dope like that. He wasn't right. He stopped writing rhymes down on pen and paper. He would just put it in his head. Hook, ad libs, 16
Big
bars.
did all his,
rhymes.
wrote all of his hooks, even the ones that you hear singers singing. Like he did his own hooks.
And Big worked a lot, you know. In the process of writing his own music, he was writing stuff for Junior Mafia. He was writing stuff for Kim. You know, it was at times he was writing 2-3 albums at a time.
That's crazy. It's like a hip hop
Wow.
angel. You know what I'm saying? Came down and just blessed us with some stuff, and then
But one thing I must say, I'm sorry not to cut you off, but so many, things have changed in other ways. Like I remember when we were working on music back then, before Pro Tools, and we would be in the studio all day, and then they would have to cut tape, literally, and we would go to the club for hours and come back to the studio and finish, working. Like it wasn't as quick. So I can't, the whole quick and split thing right now, is,
emails,
it's like how
man.
can they can't help it that.
Like
You
that
know?
was the fun part about collaborating. You went actually to the studio.
Right. You couldn't just send them
And
a
y'all
song.
kicked it, y'all would
Right.
sit there, listen to the beat, hang out, and you get to know their friends.
Right.
You have a drink. It's like now, just like, yo, do I ever send you an email?
Get somebody in Alaska, somebody else in
I
Japan.
do records with people I never met before, man. Just send me an email and a PayPal account. Yo, send me money through PayPal.
Venmo me,
I'm gonna
thank
send
you.
you the verse. You know what I'm saying?
Never met you.
It's bad. No, that's the era. Our era. That's what you had to be up close and personal. You know what I mean? That's what made it fun. That's what made it cool to actually meet somebody you admire, that you love, that you mess with their music, and you got a chance to work with them and sit with them and be like, oh, damn, they cool. They smoke like me. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? All right, he chill. He ain't got like us. You know what I mean? Like. It's not that no more nowadays. You know what I
And
mean?
the huge
Everything
crowds
is-
were always word of mouth and real fans. Like I said, like social media wasn't around to let you know, hey, tonight we're gonna be at whatever. Everybody knew because they were in the pipeline.
Yeah, you was giving out flyers. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Street teams were big. back
Nowadays,
then.
flyers is Instagram. Yeah. That's
Which
your
is why
flyer.
I appreciate my fans that much more, because I feel like if they show up, they must really like me.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
For
And
sure.
you don't have to, because
Yeah,
it's,
your army.
there's so many other things to kind of get attention these days.
But I think people are people no matter what, and real recognize real, no matter what. Even if you're an artist or not, people are going to
Absolutely.
gravitate to real people. And
Absolutely.
congratulations to all you guys for
No doubt.
maintaining that. Man.
I appreciate it.
That's what's up. We got any questions in the audience? Yeah, I'm like, come on, you know all the questions.
Carlos, man. Carlos is everywhere, man.
So one more time for everybody at home watching on the website power953.com. May 19th it comes out, and that's
May
that's 2
19th.
days
May 19th.
before his birthday.
Yes, that is 2 days before Big's
What you guys doing this year for your birthday? Anything special for Big's birthday?
And that's National Biggie Day, too. That's actually a holiday now, too.
Is
His
it?
birthday, yeah.
May 19th or May 20th. Oh, his birthday.
Oh,
Day
if not, we
last
just
year.
made it now.
Yeah,
I mean, it is to us, but I'm saying.
yeah
Are you
his
serious?
birthday, yeah.
In Brooklyn. Okay, got you.
We just broke news to Faith.
But you know, in Brooklyn, that
broke
it's
news.
Yeah, it's everywhere. You know,
Well,
we do it-
anything related to Biggie is a holiday in Brooklyn. Trust
Amen.
me.
For real,
Amen.
dog.
Amen.
Well,
That's
thank you all
every
for
day.
coming through. We really do appreciate it. You guys always have a home here. You definitely do, okay? Because you're from Florida.
Thank
so.
you. Shout out to all my family, y'all.
I do too,
I'm
man.
sorry
Y'all
I ain't get to come
No
see
doubt.
y'all, but I'm really working. I'm doing like mad stations in one day, so. But I be shouting y'all out at every station.
That's right.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, we seen you on with our boy Sway the other day too. And
Oh,
all that.
yeah,
Nice
that
fam
was
right
fun.
there. So, you know, that's, thanks again for again what you guys do, what you've been doing throughout the years, entertaining us even before all this social media stuff.
Thank you, thank you, man.
the
Appreciate it.
stuff y'all don't know about on
Yeah.
social media.
All right, the King and I get it. Make sure you get
May
it May
19th,
19th.
hanging out. Much love,
Thank
Orlando,
y'all.
Florida, baby. Yeah.